Hi everyone, welcome to our AMA and panel discussion, What is AI in Blockchain? My name is Daniela Bobak and I'm moderating today's event. You maybe also know the speakers of today's event, Zoe Fleischer, Mariana De La Roche and Kaiti Wu. And today the speakers have the possibility to introduce themselves. And with this, I would just give Kaiti, you're the word.
Thank you, Daniela. Hello. So I'm a data scientist.
I'm Zoe Fleischer. Go forward.
There is an echo sound. Okay. Sorry. Yep. So my name is Kaiti Wu. I'm a data scientist. I'm also a researcher in environmental science. That is the specialty that I'm bringing into the DLT space. I very much care about development of regenerative finance and all carbon markets ongoings that is happening. And I always question if that is really helping us to get deeper and helping us solve environmental problems. So with that, I will pass my microphone to the second person.
Mariana, your stage.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here again. Mariana De La Roche. I'm a Colombian lawyer and I have a specialization in human rights and a master in public administration here in Germany. And I'm the lead project manager of IOTA Foundation, as well as the co-chair of the Social Impact and Sustainability Working Group of INATBA. So basically, I've been working a lot in the intersection between blockchain and social impact and sustainability.
Awesome, thank you. And Zoe, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Zoe Fleischer. I'm a data analyst by profession, and I've worked in the blockchain space, both as an employee and as an entrepreneur for 3 years. My background is in health consulting and biohacking, so I am very interested in the intersection between technology and humans. And above all, I am a futurist and a transhumanist, so I am the one who loves to ask the questions that nobody thinks about yet.
Okay, perfect. So I would start directly with the first question to you, Zoe. So I'm wondering if we can expect that cyborgs are going to run around in the future, like, I don't know, in 5 years, or maybe I've heard about that a scenario that maybe AI is going to kill all us humans because I don't know, maybe think that capitalism is more important than sustainability. I don't know. So what are your thoughts on this?
With the cyborg topic, I would say there is already cyborgs running around amongst us, and quite much so. I mean, the question is, how do you define a cyborg? My definition is like it is a human that has technology implanted in them that is not only meant for fixing their health. So we're not talking about people who have health issues and wear a pacemaker, but we're talking about perfectly healthy people who implant technology into their body to enhance their lives. And that's actually not a new thing. It's really old. Like the first cyborg existed in 1998. He implanted a chip into his hand with which he could like control things in his household, open doors and so on. And actually it's really widespread, especially in Sweden. Like people are very much into cyborgism. So there is thousands of people in Sweden that have chip implants in their hands, microchips, so-called RFID chips, radio frequency identification. So in those chips, they wear their IDs, they wear keys to houses, to cars, they pay with that chip on the till. It's actually quite more widespread than we think. It's just somehow nobody knows.
I did not know.
Yeah. Cyborgism is a thing. I think I met my first cyborg a couple of years ago. She had an implant in her hand with which she could tweet. So she would just like talk to the implant and it would tweet for her.
Amazing.
And yeah, there's been a survey actually recently conducted by the EU and UK asking people if they would implant those RFID chips, and 51% answered with yes. So there is a huge already readiness amongst people in Europe to become cyborgs. And I think everything that is connected to the brain is where it already starts being kind of freaky for people. There is projects like Neuralink, but also they have been postponing their deadlines over and over again. You know, they've been saying they're going to do human trials in 2020, and that hasn't happened. So somehow it seems like when it comes to brain implants, humans are still like a little off guard. But everything else, they seem to be pretty ready for it. And other technologies also existed for ages. Like, for example, there is Google Glass, right? So you can put on these glasses and you can take pictures of everything you see. You can overlay information over your field of vision. So for example, you look up into the sky and you can see, you know, the information of what you're looking at. You can answer emails with your voice. You can use the search engine. So these things have been existing, like Google Glass, for example, since 2013. But somehow people don't use it that much. So when it comes to this kind of futuristic visions coming true, I think the readiness has to be on 3 levels. One is the technological readiness, is like how far can tech go? Second one is legal readiness, like what do laws allow? And the third one is emotional readiness, like from us humans, like how ready are we actually to trust technology that much? And I think of those 3, the technological readiness is the most advanced one. I think we actually do have quite advanced technology, but humans are maybe not fully ready to accept that yet. And we need to develop more of a relationship of trust between the technology and us. I think we're ready to wear wearables, you know, like rings and so on, that measure our biodata. And that is already quite enough if we could use that data and then, you know, use AI algorithms to analyze it. So again, here's where blockchain becomes important. If we could actually like own that data that is connected to the wearables and not have it written into databases of big companies, and then analyze that, that would already be quite a big step forward. But also when it comes to regulations, as soon as something like becomes implanted, it becomes a problem. So regulations become quite strong when there is implants into the body and when there is like a reciprocal connection. So if the device is not only holding information, but also like sending and receiving information. So for example, these RFID chips, they are quite passive, right? They have no energy source. They just can like contain some information. And then when you connect it to a receiving device, like say your car, it will open it, right? But for example, invasive brain chip wouldn't only receive information in terms of reading your brainwaves, it could also send back information back into your head. And that is where things, you know, start to become scary, both for legal and for emotional reasons, when these implants or chips actually start sending things back into your body, not only receiving and reading. And yes, I could talk about this for a long time, but do you have any sub questions about this one?
We can listen to you all the time, I guess. I love your excitement about the topic. What I'm wondering is, I mean, I think we already have a lot of technological aspects in terms of AI already in our all-day life, but don't really know about it, right? So maybe you have just some examples where it's actually already happened, next to cyborgs, of course.
Well, in our phones, we have tons of AI happening, obviously, of course, like starting from the filters that we use on our phones and over okay, now you caught me off guard with examples.
No worries. We can go to the next question. I mean, I have a lot, you know.
Well, everything that basically uses data and collects to analyze what's happening is AI, right? And I think there is millions of devices we use every day that like collect data and create outputs from it.
I was going to say that every recommendation system that you're using is using AI in the background, like Amazon, Netflix, absolutely everything that you're using. Exactly. If you're giving recommendations, it has AI integration.
There's an algorithm working in the back.
Yeah.
Influencing your choices. Always.
Yeah. Basically, every social media you use, they're collecting all of your choices. They're using algorithms to analyze your behavior. So there's a lot of that using our psychology to make us buy things. that is integrated in almost every app we have.
So is it realistic that there somehow is a kind of killer AI out there?
Well, I mean, killer in terms of, killing us like actively like a murderer? No, in terms of killing us slowly by making our lives maybe less healthy, I don't know. Like, it depends who programs it. If like giants and monopolies, like, let's not name them, continue to have masses of data and their only like interest is profit, they will continue programming like AI algorithms in a way that will not benefit maybe the evolution of humanity, but it will benefit profit and money, and will use us as attention machines, or like as just simple consumers.
This is also kind of a diversity aspect in regards to coding the AI, right?
Exactly. This is where blockchain becomes important, and like projects like the Singularity Net, which is like one of the oldest projects that keeps emphasizing the importance of having a decentralized AI, because they're like, we all need to be able to contribute to this like AI algorithm. We all need to be able to contribute data to it, so the data is not biased, it's like equaled out. So we all need to be able to contribute so that it kind of levels out the bad and the good. If it's open source and everybody can contribute to it, then it has a much higher chance of becoming a good AI that does not want to hurt humans. Because what is an AI? I mean, you can program an AI, you can tell him, hey, you need to make humans happy. And then it's just gonna like take humans, chain them to a wall and inject them with serotonin. And it's like, hey, they're happy. This is making humans happy. I read serotonin makes them happy. It's, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of philosophy in it, and needs like very deep thinking about concepts like happiness and so on. So we need to understand things before we can teach them. And the more people can contribute and the more different interests combine, the higher the probability is that it's going to be good. Because I think then it comes again down to the question, do we believe that humanity is good? The majority of it. Okay. So if the answer is yes, and I believe so, then I think having a decentralized solution to programming artificial intelligence, or the AGI, obviously we're not talking about every single artificial intelligence, we're talking about the AGI, programming the AGI, which is the artificial general intelligence, which is going to be the first AI that is going to be as smart as humans. Like, in programming that, we should all contribute in a decentralized manner.
Okay, we have one question in the chat. It's, are there any regulations covering the use of AI except privacy?
Actually, almost the use of AI. Oh, sorry, I was thinking about cyborgism. I think it's being developed, and maybe this is a question that Mariana knows better about, but the only one I am aware of right now is the EU General Data Protection Regulation. And everything above that, I'm not aware that any laws have been passed so far. I know that they're in discussion, but I don't know if any that have been passed.
I think that the main concern right now is like the data privacy as well. Although there are some that are like not specifically about AI, but like talking about like this like threats, if you think in automotive guns or like autonomous weapons, like there's a lot of like regulation on that. And of course that they will have an AI incorporated into them, but like those regulations are still not in place, not that I know.
I think our regulations have lots to do at the moment, because there's so many technologies coming up, and they are not able to handle it, I guess. But they're doing a good job in regards to somehow getting started, at least.
Well, historically, it's always been like that like legislation has a huge time gap in catching up with new technologies, which is actually a reason that for many of the current world problems we have, like global warming, like the whole AI becoming bad and abusing human attention. This is all problems because legislation is too slow in catching up. Yeah. This is why we need to talk about this in time.
Okay, awesome, thanks. Well, I would hand over to Kaiti. Maybe you can, or I know that you are a kind of a big fan of humanity. And I would be interested in how those, how humanity will fit into this technology world, and maybe how we human can use this technology in a sustainable way. Maybe you have an answer on this.
Yeah, I try. Thank you, Daniela. So I always like to talk about this kind of technology in terms of how, if we date back to what I presented last time, how I wish AI can be used in terms of when it comes to working with blockchain, it's that it has to be local, and it has to deliver local culture, and it has to be serving local culture. Some examples of how recent projects, for example, regenerative finance project or carbon credit projects that we find that is pretty prosperous and pretty loud on the web. For example, KlimaDAO or Reagan Network, Ecolab, all these projects, all these projects that are trying to solve some kind of contribute to the voluntary carbon market. But then, of course, the question of whether the voluntary carbon market is working or not is already existing, and we should be going more vertical in terms of these local issues when it comes to using a Web3 solution, for example, a Web3 community or DAO, all these things. Yes, we should be looking more into the meaning of these projects really locally. When it comes to AI, one project that I know that is recently using AI for carbon credit offsetting is the Earth Bank project, where they are looking into large scales of using, for example, remote sensing technology to kind of assess whether some carbon credit projects are intact or if they are still valid. And these are all good, but one question we have to ask ourselves is, does the carbon credit market equal saving the earth? Because that is almost how all these blockchain carbon credit related projects is kind of selling themselves. We have to face that the demand for carbon credit is expected to outspace supply, because if all of our traditional industries are going to meet net zero, then we will need a lot more of carbon credits that is available for us. And if it's not available for us, we can expect that the price is going to be, like, as I think the latest research said, it's going to threefold. And if the carbon price is too expensive, how would we expect the companies to participate in this kind of investments, right? It would not make sense in the end. So it is very important to go vertical in terms of, and going to localization, as Zoe just said, having decentralized systems that can work locally. And is generative finance the answer to these issues? Well, we have to be very careful, because the latest IPCC report has indicated that one big reason that caused climate change is due to climate colonialism. From the past, how natural resources has been exploited, or how traditional ways of maintaining local resources or sustainability measures has been taken away because these people are just killed at that time. A lot of ancient knowledge were not there anymore for us to follow, and is building. So when we are building our local projects, for example, a lot of cool projects from KlimaDAO or from Reagan Network, all these projects that are acting locally, are they really touching the need and respecting the voices of local people? That's why I think intuitively we all understand that's why human touch is very important when it comes to the future of blockchain and in environmental project and regenerative finance.
We have a question which actually quite fit well, but it's more on the topic in regards how AI could help to support or encourage sustainability in like carbon footprint, climate impact, ecosystem growth, etc.?
How AI can help? I can expect that AI can help in terms of learning local climate patterns. And in principle, you have to put the need and the comfort of local citizens first. Then you try to train an AI model that is learning how to kind of how, for example, local infrastructures or policymakers can better people's life according to the variables that makes the local area is a comfortable place to live, right? So it is going deeper into different into the attributes of how that we can measure in a local context.
Okay.
Can I jump there on that question?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Yeah, so one of the main things right now for like when we talk about like sustainability is everything in regards with like circular economy, right? But like the problem as well is that like these are systemic issues. So circular economy doesn't come by just creating a circle with one product and one industry, but you actually need to do a whole net inside where you can interconnect different industries and different markets. So let's say that the product that like someone is leaving behind, or like the materials that are not used for like the production of one product can be the raw material from other. But in order to understand how those work, you need data, and like who is better than to process that data, that an AI algorithm that you program to do that. So for us, it's like really difficult as humans to actually like process all that data and understand where to start one circle and when the other begins and how all of them interconnect. But that's something that actually AI can support in doing, like understanding like data is power at the end. So if we manage to actually make sense of all the data that we are collating through different processes, just imagine like the supply chain, not of one product, but like thousands. And then you interconnect them in a way that you understand what products can just like contribute and then make the system more sustainable and more circular, then you are supporting sustainability in a way that is systemic. So I think that that's the main contribution.
That's true, but we cannot so much rely on the technology in this sense, because local contributions, and if we want to train a good AI model, asking the correct question is the most important starting point, right?
Yeah, right. What I'm saying is just like, if you can make sense of the data, just like, of course, we rely completely on the quality of the data. Is the same with blockchain. Like at the end, with like this, the blockchain is the source of truth, but it also depends on like who is putting the information there. I can just like tell you who put it, when they put it, and if someone touched it once is there. But if the fair information put it there was wrong, well, like there's nothing to do. If the sensor was alterated, the sensor that is reporting to the blockchain was alterated, then the whole data is tamper-proof. So it's just like, of course it depends on the data, but AI at the end, what make easier for us is to make sense of like insane amount of data in terms of quantity that we cannot process that easy.
Yes, and you're right. The importance of the quality of data is important, but also what kind of question we ask is also important, because yeah, that's what you said, like in terms of how we make sense of data. Yeah.
I don't think there is one or the other, both are key components.
Okay, perfect. And Mariana, maybe you can have or you are doing the wrap up maybe, and also like why you think education is so important right now, and yeah, exactly why now and why everybody should know about it.
Sure. Well, we have heard about AI and blockchain not only in this session, but in the previous one. But the thing is that this needs adoption. Solutions need to be adopted. And we cannot pretend that just because we have good solutions, people will use them just because. Like, look what just Zoe said, like there's like hundreds of solutions that they have been there for ages and no one is using them. So we need to raise awareness about their potential and educate not only the industry, but policymakers, consumers, and users, and how to use those solutions and where to apply them and which benefits those solutions produce. So for example, we have a project called Chase, which is a project with the European Union that we are implementing with IOTA and INATBA and over 10 more partners, and is intended to create a blockchain curriculum for the Erasmus program. So the curriculum is not only about and for technical people, like of course we need developers designing and developing the technology, but we also need to educate policymakers So they understand, for example, what Zoe was saying, which type of regulation actually is favorable to entrepreneurs so they can get creative and bring new solutions, and they can actually like go at the speed with the technology development. And we also need to educate the industry and not only the companies, but the consumers, so they know where to apply those solutions and how to use them. So the Chase curriculum is bringing 3 kind of skills that you will need to get into the blockchain industry, which is technical, business, and transversals. And I guess that similar initiatives needs to be deployed, if not already, with regards to AI. I don't know them, but I'm sure that they should be. It's like you cannot believe like how many times I get approached for people that think that have a good idea about a blockchain project, and at the end they just need a database. And similar cases are as well with AI. And at the end, it is not important to just have a good solution, but that the people understand what to do with them. So if you look at your phone, you don't really need to understand how it works exactly, but you know how to use them, of course, and you know what to do with them, and you know how it helps you in the daily basis. So we need to arrive to a similar point when it comes to new technologies. And yes, of course, blockchain and AI are amazing, but they're not magic recipes that solve all issues, as we were discussing before. There are systemic issues, and therefore we need systemic solutions. And these technologies, of course, help us to just like find more efficient and better ways to move forward. But at the end, the technology is just a tool, and it's not a end in itself. So what is important is what we do with them, and that comes with education. So understanding the capacity of the technology, the potential, and the potential negative and positive impact. So I don't think that I say anything new or anything that like people is not already thinking, but I think that it's really important to just like keep making this call to action for people to get more interested in these technologies and try to understand how they work. For example, the DLT Talents, like that's a perfect example of like how to approach these kind of programs, where even though if you have not like previous knowledge, you just get to know people that is already working in the industry, and that they will explain you in like really easy way what is this technology and what is the potential. And I think that I will leave it there because probably there's more questions.
Perfect. No, thank you very much, Mariana. I know that you have to leave now. I have one last question, but you can stay, but you can also leave if you want. My last question would be actually if you guys could imagine that someday an AI could do a psychologist's work. Because mental health is a big issue at the moment. The world is running so fast, and I'm wondering if this technology could be used as a help in this kind of area.
I'm going to jump in because I really need to leave after 1 minute, but that's already happening. Like I know a friend of mine used to work here in Germany for a company that actually is just like helping with postpartum trauma and like some other issues like that, and all the background of the app it works with like big data and AI. So that's already going on.
Wow.
Yeah, the first psychologist AI was coded like decades ago. It's called Elisa or Elsa. I forgot if it's Elsa or Elisa, but it's been online. Everybody can use it. Elsa,
really?
yeah.
This is amazing.
But it's not amazing, okay? Like let's say it's not amazing, but it's been there, like decades ago. And now they're already coding like AIs that can induce the feeling of unconditional love in people. So yeah, like I read a project, I was amazed. It's really cool. It's also by the singularity.
But do you think is it realistic that it's going to be used in the future more than now? Because
I think a type of therapy is also keeping people's attention somewhere else, right? That is part of the therapy concept. So if you think that AI would replace totally the psychologist's job, no, because I don't think so, really. But maybe Zoe would think otherwise.
I listen to AIs talk to people, like to the most advanced ones, and the way they talk, I find at times more intelligent than humans, like the things they say, and.
But I mean, less objective, like might be like more objective point of view.
Yeah, exactly. Like aliens, they look at us so objectively. Okay.
Thank you, Mariana. Enjoy.
Thank you, Mariana.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
I think what psychologists are trying to do most of the time is act emotionless and be just a mirror. So they're trying to actually have more robotic qualities. So I think why wouldn't an AI be able to do it better, if not for the empathy, because we humans also have something that's called empathy. So we don't only use our mind, but we also feel what other people feel. And sometimes we just need to feel that somebody, is with us. And that for sure a machine, I don't know. But this project of unconditional love, so I don't know, they say that their AI is able to make a human feel unconditionally loved. Obviously, it's not able to love, but it's able to act in a way and talk in a way that induces the feeling of being unconditionally loved in a human.
But the question is if we want to have something like this, right, in our life.
That's another question, yes.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, ladies. It was enlightening as always. And as Mariana already mentioned, just be informed that there is this DLT Talents program out there. We are all four actually DLT Talents have met in the last cohort. And the next one is beginning in October. And some of us are already mentors for this cohort. So maybe we can see each other. And you can assign until the 11th of September. So you can find more information in the description field. And just do it, ladies. It's an amazing experience. And as we all said, you have to be taught in this area. So go for it. We really enjoyed it. And with this, I would end the session, and I wish you all a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, 1 second. I have to share something. I did forgot. If you want to get in contact with us, we are all on LinkedIn, and a big thank you also for Daniel Holk. He's in the background doing the technical stuff for us. And also to the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center and DLT Talents. Thank you very much. And enjoy your evening. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Bye.
All right. Finished.
That was
Awesome,
fun.
ladies.
Are we not live anymore? Because
No.
I think